Okay, Lera.
Oh, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Lera Hobbes, and it's just a pleasure to be here along with my daughter. She'll introduce herself in a minute. I am from Edmond, Oklahoma, and I'm glad to do this training this morning. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story so you know who I am. My background is ministry, actually. My husband and I were missionaries, and when we came back after living overseas for 12 years, we had 4 children. We left as newlyweds, came back with 4 children, came back with no savings, no house, and a little bit of a financial need. We settled in California, not a very inexpensive place to settle. And I was praying for an extra stream of income because I knew, my husband and I knew we were not going to put our kids in school. We were going to homeschool. And that meant we were going to live off of one preacher's income. And so it's interesting because when I heard about Relive, I was not thinking about business. I was thinking about my allergies, asthma, recurring bronchitis, sinusitis. I was thinking about my hypoglycemic symptoms, which sent me to the emergency room while my husband was preaching on a Sunday one day. And I was thinking about my migraines. I was thinking about my children who had 2 of the 4 of them had suffered with the same upper respiratory ailments than I did. And my husband, who was looking at knee surgery. He was almost bone against bone in one knee, headed that way, the other, praying for results, praying for something. And that's when I found Relive. I got started on the products as a guinea pig, did not know about the integrity of the company, did not know about the science of the company, never tried a real supplement before. And, you know, it's interesting. Before I even got my results, because I'd heard so many stories, I just started very shyly sharing it with other people. And some people got results before I did. Some of them Meniere's disease. She stopped spinning. She got off the floor in 3 days. Her husband's lupus just was no longer found in his blood, in his blood tests. And her fibromyalgia symptoms were well under control. And that really opened my eyes to something that I had a hold of. I did get my results with all those things that I mentioned. My husband, here we are over 19 years later. I call him my Tarzan. He runs, lifts weights, runs the hills, never had to have knee surgery. My children all are still on the products as manifested here by my daughter, Miriam, being here, and she'll share her story. And you know, a business was really born as I began to help people. That was the biggest thing that attracted my attention to Relive. It was a people helping business. People approached me about other businesses. I just could not put my heart into it, but this I could put my heart into. I saw the Calogres Foundation, which really resonated for me as I was a former missionary, and I saw Relive actually, and Relive distributors giving to underprivileged children and adults all over the world. And that really tugged at my heart. And that sold me really and helped me embrace the whole vision of Relive. And as I shared, I was able to add more and more to my income. It enabled me to stay at home. It paid my husband's postgraduate fees of $28,000 in tuition and fees. There is no way we would have been able to afford that had it not been for the Relive income. And so I would like to introduce to you, I'll share the rest of my financial story later, but I want to introduce you to our co-leader here, Miriam Wolf, my amazing daughter. And Miriam, would you share your story?
Hi, good morning. I'm Miriam Wolf. I live in Portland, Oregon, and I am Lera Hobbes's daughter, one of her 4 children. So as you heard from her story, Relive came into my life when I was a teenager, about 14 years old, when my mom found Relive. And sorry, I'm just having a flash of our first experience taking the Relive shakes, but that's another story where she had no idea which products, I already started, so I have to finish now, which products blended well together. And so anyway, she makes now, and then this is a throwback, y'all, Punch, Hawaiian Punch Energize. They don't sell anymore. And it laid it up in a blender and sat all 4 of us kids down and said, all right, drink it. And we all took a sip and gagged and spit it out. And we all refused to take it. It was a horrible combination. And we were crying and wailing, and she would not let us get up from the table until we finished it. And then my dad came home, and he was trying to be a good support to my mom and back her up and said, now kids, come on. He was like throwing it down. You need to finish this. And finally we're like, Daddy, taste it. And he tasted it and he almost gagged. And he's like, honey, you might want to find a different kind of shake here. Anyway, so we recovered from that. And 15 years later, here I am, and I'm still taking Relive and I'm okay. But I got results with energy, with clearing it, it cleared up my skin. I say Relive, it gives me this Relive glow, and it's something that you can't fake with makeup. And it's really that nutrition that feeds your body from the inside out. What you put on the inside, it shows up on the outside. But the thing that I'm most thankful for is I always had irregular monthly cycles from the time I started when I was a teenager all the way to my early 20s. And doctors shrugged their shoulders and said it was normal. And here's birth control. You can just get on that. You don't have to worry about it. And I knew that wasn't the way that my body was created to function. And thankfully, Relive was there. And with their targeted nutrition, I was able to experience regular monthly cycles for the first time in my life instead of skipping 3+ months at a time. And so when I was ready to start a family, and later in my 20s, when we were married, I was able to use it as a prenatal supplement for 2 healthy pregnancies now. And I have a 3.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. And they are the picture of health. They have rock solid immune systems. And I look around at so many of their young friends who succumb to, so many seasonal illnesses and a lot of common childhood ailments. And I'm thankful to have avoided a lot of that. And I really do credit Relive with supporting their growth and development. So I am also a pediatric ICU nurse. I've been an RN for 10 years, and it's a profession that I am so proud of and take a lot of, it really speaks to my heart, and I have a passion for. But ever since I have kids, I always knew that I wanted to be home full time with them. But as we know, in today's climate, it is, well, and it's always been that way, but I feel like it seems to get harder. I don't know. But being a single income family is really difficult. And so we were prepared to make the sacrifice of me quitting my job and staying home. But thankfully, Relive has always been that plan B, which is now plan A as far as supplemental income is concerned. And so 1 year ago, when my second child was born, I quit my job. I walked away from my Relive career for this season of life that I am in. I have young children. I hated being gone, clocking in for 12-hour shifts and being gone all day and working every other weekend and missing holidays and weekends with the family. And now to have complete control over my schedule and not having to check my work schedule to see which weekend we can travel or which holiday that I have to be away from my family on. It is so wonderful. So with Relive, I have really just gone from a couple $100s a month with very, very minimal time investment, which was rewarding in and of itself. Like even that gave me the flexibility, just a little bit of breathing room in our budget to not have that full-time nursing income anymore. But as we'll talk about just this year, in the last couple months, I have been a lot more intentional about time management and really working with the time that I have and not waiting for a perfect 2-hour time slot in the day to open up to do Relive work, but really learning how to fit Relive into the cracks of my life and working it around my time with my children at home. And that intentional, consistent investment has paid off. And so, yeah, in February, we were able to really make that come to fruition.
Excellent, Miriam. Well, as you can see, we do have fun together, and that is a true story about the first shake. It's just hilarious. We are going to just tell you a little bit about Relive International. Miriam and I are going to focus on the circle of success, but we're going to go through the slides rather quickly. Most of you are probably pretty familiar with this information, but one thing that really stood out to me before I began to share Relive was the solidness of the company. I was not willing to put my name behind a fly-by-night company. I'll never forget in one of the trainings, Nick Priest, who is an ambassador with Relive, he told us when he was looking for a company, he looked for 5 things, and I can't remember exactly what the 5 things were, but I have the essence of it. And one of them was that it has a track record. And here you go, 32 years as a food science and nutrition company. Relive had a track record. A lot of people go after the fast and the furious, and then it fizzles out. Well, Relive has just been steady, steady, steady for 32 years. And that really meant a lot to me. And that meant that they're not going to go anywhere, that if I brought people on board with me to take the products, to help share the products with other people, this company is not going to slip away into oblivion. And that really meant a lot to me. So track record was one. He also says, have products that everyone needs, products that are unique, and products that work. And sure enough, click. Products are clinically proven, patented, backed by science, guaranteed to work. He also said, make sure they have a good payout plan, a good pay plan. And Relive, according to this Direct Selling Association, has an excellent compensation plan. They even asked Bob Montgomery a while ago when he instituted, I think was the bonus, the Star Director bonus program. They said, Bob, you're giving away the farm. And Bob Montgomery said, well, I don't need the farm. And that showed me a lot about the heart of our then president and CEO of Relive. Nick Priest also said, make sure that there's good training, and oh my good, that there's mentorship, that they don't recruit you and then leave you alone. Well, Relive has the best success system in the industry. And also, can you just generally trust them? And here it is, a company with integrity and strong family values. Relive checks off everything. And Relive really does have our solution. People are asking a lot of questions. People are saying, well, especially now, oh my goodness, my husband is looking at a job termination, or my children are sick, or my mother has dementia. Relive, or how do I need a community of people who are going to encourage me in my journey. Well, Relive has it all, has the products, the compensation plan, and success system. The only variable is us. How are we going to plug in? How do we use the products? Do we understand and take advantage of the compensation plan? And are we plugging into the success system?
Oh.
Okay, Miriam?
So Relive provides their core nutrition products. These are the flagship products that everyone gets on. And I take so much pride when I'm walking someone through Relive's catalog, but introducing them to Relive for the first time and showing them this core nutrition, because when they start hearing stories and I start talking to them about all the results that people get with such a wide array of health issues, it is such a point of pride to be able to show them this and say, everybody starts on the one thing, on the same thing. And most of these results that you hear, a huge percentage of them, people just take this one product, and it is complex nutrition made so simple. So they have, from the core nutrition to, and then the kids products, that's something that I know in the Philippines and the booming business that they have going on there, they focus a lot on kids nutrition. And if we don't take care of ourselves, I know people will do anything for their children. And so that's something that when I approach people, I really emphasize that Relive has the most comprehensive children's nutrition supplement on the market. There is nothing else like that out there, and it tastes really good too.
Absolutely.
They're targeted solutions. Anyway, they're targeted solutions. I'll just start. Go ahead, Mom. You can start with the top row.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to echo what Miriam said about basic nutrition. When we start people on products, we don't need to overwhelm them with a lot of products. Something that really encouraged me was one of Miriam's downline, and she had a prospect, someone who needed the nutrition but couldn't afford a lot. We got her on the phone with Beth Mull, and Beth Mull got her results, all of her results, really on one can of Now per month. And that really encouraged that woman who just really could barely afford one can of Now. We cannot understate the power of just that basic nutrition, 72 vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, all in one. Where can you get that kind of combination? So we have Fiber Store, which is great for digestive health. It has soluble and not insoluble fiber. And amazing. Dr. Carl Hastings, he said, he was asked if you were to be put on a desert island, and you only had one product to choose, which one would it be? And he chose the Fiber Store. The Fiber Store is a powerful antioxidant. It does so much good. It's another patented formulation. Arth Effect, patented formulation for joint health. Cardio Essentials, patented formulation for heart health. Glucofect, patented formulation for blood sugars and for metabolic syndrome. We've also been told, if you want help with your blood pressure, sometimes that glucofet can really help. 24K for energy just understates it. It really chock full of B vitamins, a product that helps with focus. I know people who have anxiety issues, they get great results. Aside from the basic nutrition, they get great results with the 24K. And Miriam, you want to take the?
With reverse age, it supports your body in helping it produce its own human growth hormone, which is something that decreases as we age. So it's a powerful supplement with supporting those anti-aging effects. And I know a lot of adults say they sleep so well when they're on reverse age. For Provantage, that is a targeted formula that targets muscle and ligaments recovery and performance, whether it's athletic endeavors. I always say, between my husband and I, we have not been able to outperform Relive, and I always have Provantage in mind when I say that I can do the hardest workout or hike, weight training, and that second day soreness, it makes such a huge difference when you have Provantage. But also for women, supporting with pregnancy and labor and delivery and postpartum recovery. Wow, guys, it's amazing with that. Soy Essentials, another formula to targeted formula for women's health and support around anywhere, and it through so many other seasons of life, whether it's as a teenager for me, with support with cycles, or all the way through pre and post perimenopausal issues. Soy Essentials supports a healthy cycle, and it helps just balance all of that with women. Energize, their patented hydration formula is like nothing else out there, and it's patented, and that. It was the second patented hydration drink on the market after the original Gatorade, but Energize is the one that is around and just as good or even better than it was when it was first launched. It is an isotonic formula that matches your cellular balance and helps balance the hydration of the cells and when your cells are hydrated, they can absorb nutrition even better. And so that's why we often pair it with the core nutrition, because we know that hydrated cells will, the more you can absorb the nutrients, the better and faster results you'll get. And the less sugar Energize is a new product that has, 60 or 30% less sugar. I always forget with a new one because I don't take 60% less sugar. So it's great as if you want the hydration drink, but fewer carbs or sugar, it's great. For immune support, wow, guys, how much more relevant can you get than the immune support that Relive offers, not only through the core nutrition, but a targeted specific products. So LunaRich X is the concentrated bioactive form of lunasin that Relive has about 10 patents on, I believe. Y'all, if you go to PubMed, which is the NIH, .gov website where all of the official medical journals and studies are published, there are well over 100 studies on lunasin documented and counting. And it's amazing that concentrated protein soy peptide, what Relive has done and the patents they have is so that it doesn't get destroyed in the gut. It's bioactive after it's digested, and so it's going to get to work, and it also enhances the effects of all the nutrients in the other Relive products. It has a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. It has been proven to lower cholesterol, but these two, when it comes to immune support, LunaRich has been proven in studies to support cellular immunity. And then you have a defense, which is a more, if you want something right now to support a healthy immune system, LunaRich is like the long-term product if you're in there for a long game. But defense is something that right now you can take to have to really make a difference. And it has like the king of mushrooms, reishi mushroom and extract, and adaptogens that work in several ways with your immune system. But these two together, what a gift to offer somebody who is looking for immune support right now, when it's something that everyone's thinking about. If they weren't thinking about it before, they're thinking about it now. And it's a wonderful thing. And that's something that when I've approached several people about Relive, I say, I don't know why I thought of you, but I know that a lot of people are looking for something to support their immune system and just to make them healthier and stronger. And Relive has some amazing science that they have closely spearheaded to develop these products that do that. Would you like to find out about them? They say, oh yeah, sure. So that you don't have to look for a sick person. Any person who doesn't want to be sick, you can approach them with this, and it's quite impressive.
Absolutely. And something else that Relive has that no one else has, or to this extent, is the RLV hemp extracts. One thing we have to look at, I know even the FDA is really looking at pulling off the shelves a lot of CBD products, but you can bet that when Relive does something, they do it well. In fact, Relive was at first very kind of concerned about getting into that form of nutrition, just look at it askance and not really sure. But after looking at a company that approached them actually and looking at how their ethics and their purity really matched Relive's ethics and integrity, our president kind of took a look at this again. So now we can be assured that our Relive line is third-party tested and verified. In fact, there's a code on each bottle. You can actually put your cell phone to it, and it'll give you a copy of the certificate of purity there. It's amazing, just the lengths that Relive and this company does to go through in order to assure that what we get is a pure quality product, organically grown in the USA, non-GMO and gluten-free, multi-step tested to ensure purity and efficacy. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, Relive has been doing that with their products for over 30 years, and it's eco-friendly. They have the isolate, they have different tinctures, and then they have a balm. One of the tinctures that's very unique on this market is the melatonin, and this is just amazing in CBD. I remember first taking it and oh my gosh, I don't have problems sleeping, but I just called it the heavy blanket effect. You just relax and you really feel good taking that. And then the balm, I'll have to tell you, I had a procedure done on my knee. There were 2 points of entry, and there were marble-sized knots that would not go away. And it occurred to me, okay, I'm gonna take the balm. Oh, my physical therapist said, you really need to massage that so that it would go down, and I would massage it, it wouldn't go down. So let me just take the balm and just put it on there. I kid you not, I did that the night before, before going to sleep. When I woke up, those marble-sized knots actually completely disappeared. They went down and went flat, never came back. I don't know what's in that balm. Well, we do know 1,000 milligrams of CBD. That's quite amazing. And so really we have something equal to none. And of course, we're going to have new products that are coming out on the market that will just be a disruptor in the game. So you know what, the compensation plan, all of this would not make sense if there weren't a way to help get it out into the hands of people and to reward those who would share. And this is what I remember starting off as a new distributor. I looked at this compensation plan every single Saturday. And the more that I looked at it, the more that I appreciated it. Actually, it used to be the part of the presentation that my eyes would glaze over. And I guess personally, I just can't. I'm a missionary, people. I'm a preacher's wife. I can't relate to compensation plans. But the more that I began to share, and the more that people would come to me and say, hey, you're making $500 a month, can I do the same? The more I was really forced to look at this comp plan and say, okay, wait, this comp plan obviously works because I'm making money without even realizing how. And so I've got to be able to teach someone else how to do it. And as I said in the beginning, DSA has deemed our compensation plan one of the most lucrative on the markets. And because there are 5 ways to earn income, and we're going to go through each one. The retail, well, you can come in anywhere from 20 to 40%. The thing is, everyone is a potential customer. We cannot ignore that. We hear that every week. But listen, if I were selling air filters, if I were doing financial planning, not everyone is, yeah, we can say everyone is a potential customer, but I can guarantee you not everyone is waking up in the morning thinking about air filters or water filters. But people are thinking about their health. People are thinking about their financial situation, just as we were. And so you can make anywhere from $20 on the 100 or 40. And I remember seeing this and I'm thinking, wow, this is ridiculous, Lera. You're at 25%. You're doing the same work that you would do at 40%. And the Lord really opened up a way for me to get to the 40% profit level. And that just makes it just it's amazing. Just that retail profit alone.
So may I say that I have, several friends that I support in their businesses and buy, their products, whether it's skincare or whatever that I really enjoy. But I didn't realize this until recently, but I can think of at least 4 major direct sales or network marketing companies right now. Y'all, 40% for Relive to give us a 40% retail profit margin, that is huge, because I struggle to think of another company that gives you above 25%. That's, sign up as a consultant and get your 25% discount or 25% profit. That's their high stair step. It ends at 25%, maybe 35% in a good month. So I thought that was really remarkable about Relive to just straight off the bat offer you 40% income.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what that 40% level does, it enables you to maximize your profits as your downline grows. And that was another thing that that really motivates a lot of people. One of my most recent master affiliates, she was at 25%. She brought in 3 other people at different times at 25%. And she realized she was not making a dime. Why? Because wholesale profit pays the difference, the margin between where you are and where your distributor is. And so she was at 25%. She brought in 3 different people. And I said, do you understand that I am really getting the rest of your money here? I don't like making money because you're doing the work. I said, wouldn't you like to make a profit? And her husband was listening. He goes, well, how does someone become a master affiliate? Well, we explained that, of course, people who come in at 25%, they make an investment for $500. Of $500 worth of products, their investment, pardon me, is $375, and they get 25% savings and also a profit on that amount. And so what she decided to do, she had brought in 2 quick starts that month and had a lot of other customers, and her husband looked at her volume and said, you know what, let's just do a master affiliate order. And it's just been such a blessing for her ever since. Master affiliate is, we call that the business builder's position, although there are people who are master affiliates who just want the products, 2 people for a year, and they requalify every year. It's the only level at which you have to requalify. And let me tell you something, Miriam kind of jogged my memory about something. I was reaching out to some people in the Philippines. And do you realize when I present the comp plan, I talk about the 20 to 35% first. And I said, do you understand that there are no quotas? Once you reach that level one time, you don't have to repeat it. And one woman in the Philippines broke down in tears, and I thought I'd said something wrong. And I said, what happened? She says, she opened up her garage, and there were cartons of products that she never asked for. But because she had signed up to this Tar Baby, she was stuck. And that company kept sending her products. She ended up almost bankrupt because she had decided to join a company that was really leeching money from her. She could not sell the product fast enough as they were sending it to her. So when I showed her that, she just broke down and cried and became a master affiliate. That was very enlightening to me, again, as Miriam said, to the lucrative nature and the generous compensation plan that Relive offers.
And the very low to no risk. Also, for Relive to offer 100% money back guarantee refund on the business. So even if you do a whole master affiliate order and something happens and someone changes their mind, Relive doesn't want it cans sitting on a shelf collecting dust. They will buy back any unused product, and that is huge too. So to be able to present that to someone, not only are there no quotas, there's 100% money back guarantee for customers and try it for 30 days. But also with the business, it's a huge safety net.
Absolutely. We're going to kind of whiz through the next few slides because Miriam and I really want to concentrate on the circle of success. But I think it's important that we do kind of spend a little time on overrides. That is where we used to call it mailbox money. That's the money that came in simply because you have taught other people to do what you're doing and do it better, hopefully. So master affiliate, again, because you're no longer earning income on the differentials on wholesale, you now are moving into a different category of money, of income, and that is overrides. And so if you bring in Susan, you can bring in as many Susans as you want on that first level. So they're called your first level master affiliate. You're going to make 8%. And Susan brings in a Jim, you're going to earn 6%. And on down to 2%. And you can have as many, many companies have limits on how many you're going to have on each line. It's limitless. And as I can tell you, that is probably money that's left on the table for many of us, because it's something that Relive really is very generous in. Cash bonuses and trips is another. I know, I don't think a month has gone by where I didn't earn some kind of a bonus. Trips are amazing. I haven't been on them, but I just love seeing the generous, again, nature of Relive and rewarding their distributors. It is work, but it's the best work that you'll ever do. The Star Director bonus, as I said, that put Relive on the map as being having a lucrative compensation plan. That depends on how many master affiliates you have on each level. Relive will pay you 1 to 3% more above the usual override income. Ambassador program, it's amazing. We have a new ambassador program right now. It's called Global Ambassadors, and there are ways to get there. Just check your website or your upline to find out, but it just opens up a whole new level of travel recognition and cash bonuses. We all really want to be global ambassadors. It's just, I love that program. It has its own perks, and actually they've made it so accessible to us now. The cycle of success is what Miriam and I really want to spend some time on. As you can see, 1 through 5, you identify, connect, share the story. We're going to talk about these daily fundamentals. One is identify. I love working with Miriam on this. We have our lists. We make our lists, our whole downline. Our organization make lists. And when we sit with a new person, we have them make their list right then and there. As they become a distributor at whatever level for the purpose of sharing, we have them make their list. Or as they, we'll talk about it later, as we're connecting them to the story, we also have them, we listen to them and we find out, oh my gosh, your aunt has rheumatoid arthritis. Wow, I'm going to introduce you to someone who got results with that. But anyway, it does start with a list. The right why you thought of each. And I just want to share with you something about that. First of all, I know in my devotionals in the mornings, it's incredible, because as I'm reading, as I'm writing things down, names will pop into my heart. Names will just pop up. And there has to be a reason. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't know. But I write those names down, and as I'm calling them, I write next to them, I write down why I thought about that person. And we'll talk about why I write that down later. But, it says, who are the first 5 to contact? This is a daily exercise of daily discipline, or weekly, if you want to do it that way, weekly discipline of writing your list. And Miriam and I, we've talked about chicken lists a lot. And Miriam, I want you to share what happened with you in the month of February with your chicken list.
Yeah, that was the month that I decided, after months and months of putting it off, I was running out of easy people to talk to. And it's so silly how we compartmentalize our list sometimes with like, oh yeah, this one, like they're definitely going to say yes, I'm going to call them. And this one, I think they're going to say no. So I'm not going to call them until later. I'm going to get to these easy ones first. And that is, when you actually start doing it, it will turn upside down on you really fast, because you never know. And prejudging people is a disservice to both of you, to them, because you don't know what their needs are. and to yourself, because you don't know if you could have, if you also could have been able to help them or benefited from them. So being open, if you think of someone, there is probably a reason that you should talk to them. And so whether they seem to be an intimidating personality or not, or maybe they're a high powered business person and you think, oh, there's no way that network marketing, I mean, they wouldn't be interested in this. They have their six-figure salary. They don't, I don't want to talk to them about this, whatever. It is all really irrelevant when we have something like Relive with the high caliber of the company, the products, and the compensation plan to offer someone. Nobody is off the table. So I decided to bite the bullet and pick up that phone that weighs 100 pounds, right? Sometimes when you just say, okay, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to call this person. But one by one, it was amazing, the responses that I got. One woman who goes to my church, she's a church secretary. Actually, she knows everybody, but she had some pretty extensive health concerns in the last year. But she can be a kind of an intimidating personality, and I am a little bit more on the shy side sometimes. But I just went ahead and finally called her, and I said, hi, I've been thinking of you, and I don't know exactly why I thought of you, but this is what I'm doing. You need to find out what I'm doing with this company and how it affects people's health. And also, this is something I present the Real of Business by just sharing my story. And that's something that people are open to. It's not pushy at all when you just say, I have been a full-time stay-at-home mom. People know that I'm a nurse, but I say I quit my job, a few months ago, and I am so excited about this home-based business that I'm involved in, that I get to make an income from home by helping people. Would you like to find out more about it? Or if we set a time later on this week, would you like to hear about it? And it's amazing. They said, yeah, sure. And it's amazing, in trainings we hear about that. If I did this, if I sent you a video, or, if I, talked to you a little bit later, would you be open to hearing about it? Would you watch this video? Most people, when you present it that way, very few people say, no, I'm good. That's no thanks, or no. They say, yeah, sure. Why not? So that one of those women, she ended up doing a quick start. It was several in a row, did preferred customer. And you should never prejudge people, because you never know what their needs are.
Exactly. So you build your list, use memory joggers. You just, have you ever flipped through your phone and I did that one time, I'll have to confess. I was just like, okay, who do I talk to next? And I flipped through my phone and I realized, wow, I haven't talked to this person. And I saw on Facebook that they're really struggling with rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And so she went on my list. Whatever it takes to jog your memory, get that person on your list. It's interesting. I used to hear my upline talk about, oh, I joined this networking group, and y'all, for a preacher's wife, networking group is the last thing you want to do. Okay. I mean, you are already networking with hundreds of people and you just get on people overload. But it's interesting, 2 years ago, 2020, no, but in 2019, I decided I was going to be a part of it's called Professional Moms networking group. And so I did that. And oh my gosh, just beautiful women of faith who are looking for a business or have a business. And they were so wonderful to just be no pressure. We just exchanged cards, we exchanged numbers, had appointments. You learn about their business, they learn about yours. And do you know, in 2019, just in the few months, I think I did over $7,000 in sales just from the networking group. It's amazing. You just build a reputation. So if you're looking for, gee, I just don't have any more people for your list, try that. And it really wasn't the load that I thought it was going to be. High school, college graduation. I mean, we're only 4 people away from knowing the whole world or something now. We have Facebook. We have so many people, so many ways to connect with people and connect. Okay, so Miriam already talked about what to say. And Miriam, I love working with you because you and there's something about millennials. I don't know, it's just something that's natural to them, but they're very good students. She and Hope, who's a master affiliate in her organization, they always ask me, so what do I say? How do I say it? And so I will kind of rehearse it with them. And I'm realizing that they're very quiet because they're actually writing down what I say. It's just, it cracks me up. And so they actually write it down. And then I said, now just put it in your words. We don't want a script. We don't want we want it to come from the heart. And people can pick up on that, whether they're just being treated as a prospect or whether it comes from their heart. So you share the Relive story. You know, you share, Miriam talked about sharing and Miriam, you jump in there, okay? Sharing belief in your heart. I want you, Miriam, to just share with us, what are the tools that we've been using to help share the Relive story? Because we have so many effective tools that we didn't have now that we didn't have before. So
yeah, well, first I'll speak to connect. Having a sense of urgency, and it really conveys to people that you were on my heart, you were on my mind, you've got to hear what I'm doing. When is a good time to do it? If you but first I'm calling you for a reason. So you don't set them up and surprise them, at the end, like they feel trapped. But say, hey, I haven't talked to you in 10 years, but I'm calling you for a reason. But first, tell me how you're doing. Let's catch up. And so that puts it up front that that you have an agenda, but you also care about them. And then you're going to connect caring about them with the reason you called. And so when you talk about tools to connect, my mom always laughs at me because I'm a millennial, I guess, but I am really old fashioned. And so I actually haven't even fully taken advantage of a lot of the digital tools, the social media, especially that I know a lot of people are utilizing really well. But right now, for sometimes people, when you're starting your real business, it's easier right at the beginning because your hot market is wide open. You have not exhausted the people closest to you. And so that's still what I'm working on is my hot market. I know people work on their hot market and their warm market and then cold market, just strangers, or networking, like in networking groups. And you can do that simultaneously, but don't think that because you're new that you are limited in the number of people. You have a wide open bank of contacts to work through. And so really I've been connecting, whether it's social media on private messages or texting and then calling people. But that's really what I've been doing. It's amazing what this last year has done to people. Their schedules are suddenly wide open. There is no, they're not busting their children around to all these extracurricular activities and sports and choir and school activities. They're not, no, everyone's at home. No one's doing anything right now. All the busyness that used to be an excuse for people is really kind of a different picture right now. And yes, there's so many more challenges now. People are doing school and have their kids at home and all that. But it is, for me, I found it has never been easier than it has been now to get a hold of people. So I text them and say, hey, you haven't heard from me in so long. I've been thinking of you. Let's catch up, or I'm going to call you tomorrow. Setting a time to say, hey, I'm going to call you tonight at 7 p.m. Or instead of just saying, hey, when are you available? That really gets the ball rolling. And so picking up the phone and having those conversations, it really, to me, has been rewarding because people like connecting with people. And that's something that's lacking a lot right now. And so sharing the story, I have been doing a lot of Zoom, and really it's kind of a condensed presentation. The first exposure that people have to Relive, it can kind of be overwhelming for some people to see the entire 30 to 45-minute Relive presentation. And so doing screen sharing, or even just being on the phone and having them get on their computer and go to relive.com and say, all right, click on products, like look at this core nutrition, and then click on the targeted solutions. This is what we have. And then click on join. This is how you would get started and your options. It could be as simple as that. That's just them getting on the website themselves. But for them to, but the Relive also has videos that you can send from the Relive app, and you can see when someone has watched it, and if they watch the whole thing and then follow up with them when they have, those are really valuable. And that's a great way to just get little snippets in front of people. There are the webinars, oh my goodness. My business model used to be, I'm going to have a home shake party and send out all these invitations and invite people to my house to Friday night or Saturday morning. And those, I've had some successful home presentations, and that used to be the way I would give myself a kick in the pants to invite and call a lot of people. But now people don't have the excuse of having to leave their house. You can just invite them on a webinar any night of the week, basically, or even send them a recorded webinar if that's an option, if that's their only option, and let them see the real story on their own time and their terms at their convenience. It's wonderful. So a lot of the excuses of, oh, I don't want to drive out or I don't have childcare, that's completely out the window. It's super flexible now.
And so we ask for a decision. And, the best way to ask for a decision is to ask for a decision. And that is, you just say, so what do you think? Or I ask, where do you see yourself in the relive picture? Is there anything, what stood out to you about what you heard? Any of those questions, asking them no question and then just being quiet, allowing them to process it, allowing them to just think about it. Sometimes I'll pretend like I have to go do something, and I'll just kind of say, well, hold on for a minute. I'll just be right back. Just let them get a chance. And then if they want to build a business, well, you help them get started. You get them right on the online. We were on the phone with the Philippines the other night and trying to sign up someone as a distributor. All my distributor did, she's a new master affiliate, was share her story to someone in the Philippines. Philippines says, well, what can I do to get started? Just like that. And so it's not always that simple, but or that easy, but it is simple. So you ask them, where do you want to get started? And of course, you give them the options. Miriam is very good about giving options, preferred customers. So a lot of people, that was not my favorite, quite frankly, preferred customers, but Miriam has just helped me to see that some people just feel very comfortable easing in to that very low bar and having preferred customers. And so, so who do you know? I'm going to back up a little bit and just talk in terms that I understand. I just, when it says a sower went out to sow some seeds, we're a person that goes and sows seeds. Okay. And so we sow the seeds, but we don't have control over the kind of ground that it falls on. We're just told to go and sow the seeds. And so some going to, fall on hard ground, others going to fall on great ground, and they're going to produce after their own kind, 30, 60, 100-fold. And so we don't have control over the ground, but we do have a control over how much seed we sow. And there's a saying that I absolutely love and that I cling to, and it says, sow your seed in the morning, sow your seed in the evening, because you don't know whether the morning sowing or the evening sowing alike will be productive. So do it all. And that's kind of my motto. You don't know what's going to bring fruit, but you sow the seed. Now, what happens after you sow the seed? This follow-up process is watering the ground. It's giving it a little bit of fertilizer. It's tending. It's being a husband to the ground. And that's what we need to do. And so we're going to skip over that. And so
yeah, and I'll just add, not being attached to the outcome is one of the most liberating things that you can learn early on as a distributor, because it enables you to talk to way more people and being able to have that sense of urgency and consistency where you can just move through and keep going, even if you get no's or not now. One thing I heard on a training a few weeks ago that I actually implemented the next week, and it worked, was when someone says, no, it means not now. And, it's just not the right time. And so to follow up, I'd never thought of this before, but might have been Mindy Jones or someone said, if they say no, you ask, okay, do you mind if I call you again in about 3 months? Because situations, finances change, health changes. And I tried that with someone who said, wow, this is really interesting, but no, thank you. And I said, okay, that's fine. Do you mind if I get in touch with you again in a few months? They said, yeah, that'd be fine. That would have been person I probably never would have gone back to and cried on my pillow that night because I said no. But asking that and several people, now I have people to, at the end of this month that I talked to 2 months ago, they, I know it's going to be, they said it'll be a better time. that is huge, and it really keeps those contacts going.
That's a good point. Timing is everything. Something I approached a woman and her husband on my chicken list, and some people you're afraid to talk to. About 4 months ago, she just really poo-pooed it, said no. And I said, well, do you mind if I get back to you maybe in a few months? And she goes, no, we're friends. She says, no, I don't mind. I got back to her about 3 weeks ago. She and her husband not only want to get on the products, but she introduced me to her daughter, who is a nurse practitioner, who has so many autoimmune diseases, and she is desperate. And then she introduced me to the timing is always everything. So you're right, we cannot be attached to the outcome rather. Register and go, follow up. We've heard about this, but we cannot. We protect our investment. We care. I love customer care, customer follow up, however you want to say it, customer care. That is the kind of the nuts and bolts of what we do. And that's what separates us. That's what distinguishes us from other companies. Nobody calls me to find out if the toothpaste that I use is good, or maybe a company will email me and say, how did we do? Well, really our question when we do great customer care is, how are you doing? And so there's a huge difference in that. I think this is what makes Relive stand apart, is our customer care. And really, customer care is really caring for the customer.
Do you remember that little phrase in Spanish in training? It doesn't translate in English, but it's still really funny. You need to say it.
It doesn't. Yeah. How do we do? Yeah, I love it. In Spanish, Javier Ramirez said, he talked about how to do customer care. And he says, it's not calling that person on the phone and asking how you're doing. It's really getting them and plugging them into different aspects of Relive. He said, getting on the phone and just saying, hey, how are you doing doing it right is called follow up in Spanish, seguimiento. But doing it wrong is called perseguimiento, which means persecution. So when you are calling that person and just by yourself, in Spanish, it's called persecuting that guy instead of following up. So
you're just harassing them. So don't harass, like be a support. And follow up has always been my weak point. I know it can be somewhere where a lot of distributors get bogged down, but I've learned, do not do it by yourself. I've been tempted to do that, to just call someone and say, hey, how are you doing on the shakes? But having my sponsor, my mom, be on the phone with me. Just last Saturday, I did that when I've been playing phone tag with them for a while, but I just pulled my mom in and said, hey, you know, she's helped a lot of people. I think she can tell you a little piece of information we just learned about this CBD product you just started on. And then as they talked, she mentioned another health issue that she had never even mentioned to me when she started. And right then and there, my sponsor, she was able to text another distributor for their story, and they were available, and we grabbed her, and she just got 2 stories, boom, boom, in a row. And we just revamped her, you know, her entire focus with Relive, because I didn't call her alone. So don't do it alone. It's definitely a team effort, and it'll go a lot farther.
Well said. Set distributors up. We call it distributor care. I have a story about that. I had a distributor who had she had come to me for the last conference of February 14th of 2020. She and her husband, they were excited. They weren't really doing anything but taking the products, but they wanted to do the business. And I just noticed that she was just backing off a little bit. Distributor care, I said, okay, I'm going to take care of my distributors. Found out that she was not getting results with her high cholesterol. Her doctor was threatening to put her on medication. So what happened? Her wall of belief began to crumble. And so I immediately got her on the phone with someone who got results with cholesterol. Guess what? She just did a turnaround. She's now excited. She made master affiliate in February, she and her husband. And it's all because we decided to help her do distributor care. It's really important to waterproof your distributors. Let them know help them to see the landmines, and help them not to fall into the landmines that others have fallen into because they do it by themselves, as Miriam said, and take immediate action. Review the Relive system, review the basics of running a business. Develop positive daily habits. Miriam and I, we both live very busy lives. She with her 2 active sons, and me with ministry and all that goes with it. But there's some really good habits, and that, using the 5 fundamentals of the circle of success. Reading books. I love to read books, listen to webinars, listen to what they're now distributing, what Relive is now doing on the official Relive site, Facebook site, listening to those, and then prioritize your most important things to do and do them first. Miriam and I talk about addressing the difficult calls first, and then the rest is kind of a piece of cake. It's just fun. And it's really those difficult calls that end up to be so rewarding.
Yeah, and making a to-do list is great. Making a list is good, but the next step to actually make sure you get it done, I've learned, is put it on your planner, put it in your daily schedule. So it's not enough to just say, okay, this week I'm going to talk to these people, or I'm going to do this follow-up, but actually take that list, which is a start, but say Monday at 10 o'clock, call this person. Tuesday, I'm going to do this. Actually make a time slot for it, and that'll ensure that it gets done a lot more than just the to-do list.
Absolutely. Whenever we do follow customer care, distributor care, we have our calendars in front of us. We have a plan of action for everybody who's in our organization. We know what we're going to do the next week. That is just, and then if you put it on your calendar, you don't have to think about it or stress about it. It's there. Become familiar with Relive's current promotions, use them to grow your business. Go ahead to the next slide, the 1, 2, 3, all of those basics that Relive has put forth, they're kind of like little stepping stones, little milestones that we can reach. Top 3 bonus, yay, Miriam. You got number 3, earned a bonus of 1,000. That's just really helping a lot of people make decisions about where they want to be, how they see themselves in Relive. The promo 1, 2, 3, we all are familiar with that.
And let's not forget number 1 right there, Lera Hobbes. Number 1, top slot for the month of February.
Yeah.
She worked hard.
Yeah. All right. Important calls this week. Miriam talked about just know what's available, know who you're going to plug into what, and then your job is really done. All you have to do is do it. So the Monday, 7:30, commit to success. Wednesday, opportunity. Thursday, and there's a lot. They have the Wednesday morning, Mindy Jones coffee chat. I mean, there's so many. Tuesday night, Valerie Moody webinar. There's so many besides that. Your equation for success: consistency, persistence, and determination equals success. I cannot underscore that enough. Consistency, persistence, determination. We're going to go through ups and downs, and even personally. I mean, we have lives, and that's one thing I'll have to just share from my heart. When I first, and I'm going to cry, when I first started Relive, I had a really busy life. And when I saw people reaching levels, there was a part of me that said, they must not have a life. Now I know the difference. But before, I almost resented the fact that Relive seemed to be first in their life. And I thought, do these people have anything else to do? Well, no, of course they have things else to do. People pass away. People in their family get sick. There are new babies in the family. There are hardships. We all go through that. But what sets us apart is that we don't stop. We don't stop. And so we cannot, I think the next slide just kind of gives a little a view of what really goes on when there's success. People don't see what goes on. Go ahead to the next slide. There's hard work, dedication, good habits, disappointment, sacrifice, failure, persistence. All of that is what people don't see. And so when people reach levels, we cannot think that, oh, they had it easy. Oh, there must not be anything going on in their lives, because that is not true. What distinguishes successful people from others is that, yeah, we have life happen, but we never take our eyes off the ball. And so success is like an iceberg. And the call to action, one of my favorite sayings is Mr. Murray. I think he climbed a lot of the mounts, the Alps, and I think even climbed Mount Everest. And he talks about how when one makes a decision to do something, how providence, the Lord, just opens up doors, and all unforeseen events, things you never would dream would happen, start to come together. And that's what happens when we decide to make a commitment. And our call to action is to act, to call to act. I am privileged to be a part of a company that gives back. We have the Calogos Foundation. Actually, Oklahoma City is part of that effort. We have a site here. I can tell you so many stories of people who've gotten their lives back through this Cologos Foundation. And so when we talk to people, don't forget about that too, because that resonates for a lot of people. But the whole idea, as Miriam said, is to act, connect, set appointments, do good customer care. Mira, do you have any last words there?
Yeah, I just think sometimes when you get into details of real business, it's a people business and people are messy. And so it can get, it can get sticky sometimes. It's not a straight line of, just punch this card and check this off. And this is how, it's people. So it's going to go up and down. But I just remind myself, and anyone can relate to this, anyone who has a job, how hard that you work in that job and what reward does it get. And so when I think, oh, I have to do this, or I have to, just the daily tasks and things that you need to be persistent about with Relive. But then I think about all of the things in my nursing job and how we worked our tails off, and the competencies and the complex machines and the training. There's still training that you have to do outside of the 12-hour shifts you do. And it's just over and over trainings and competencies and just so much work and things you have to keep track of. And I just think if I put in 100% for that job, and I'm thinking that I can just dip my toe in and put in minimal effort and I'm going to get this reward. If I put in even just half of the work ethic and the effort that I did in my old job to this is something that's going to pay me, for the rest of my life, and not just dry up when I don't clock into work. And so having that mindset, when you talk about that iceberg of the success iceberg, that work ethic of just, remind yourself how hard you actually work in your other job, and to treat this like a job. But it is so fun, and the community that you have and the support. And that really was the last thing that I'll add is the game changer, where my mom was amazing leadership about this, where we started having weekly team meetings and checking in with each other and realizing that you're not a lone wolf in this. It is truly a team effort. And so to cheer every success, whether it's, yay, I signed up a preferred customer, yay, I got a quick start. We cheered each other's successes, and we swapped ideas and helped each other out. That is essential. So wherever you are, if you're on this training and you're new, reach out to your sponsor and plug into that system, because working as a team makes all the difference than trying to do this by yourself.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.